And welcome to the GPS online group. Today we're going to be doing an interview with one of our local community partners, just about the program that he works in. Just going to give a little bit more information about benefits of that program. So I'll introduce him right now. This is Landon. Landon, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself and the organization that you work for, I would appreciate it.
Of course. Well, thanks, Mitchell, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. So as Mitchell said, my name is Landon. I work for Career Path Services. I've worked for Career Path for nearly 6 years now. And for those of you that don't know, Career Path is a workforce development and human services organization. We are located throughout Washington State. We started in the early 70s and our headquarters is in Spokane. We work in different programs throughout the state, but today the program that I'm going to be talking about is the program called Community Jobs.
So I think, like you just said, we're going to focus a little bit on community jobs. So I guess I'll just jump into our second question here is, what do you feel like are the biggest benefits being a part of community jobs or the programs that you offer?
Yeah, so Community Jobs, for those of you that don't know, is a 9-month-long internship, typically in the community that you reside in. So as far as the biggest benefits, there's a lot of benefits. I think the 4 that come to mind for me, one, I would say the biggest would be the experience, the work experience that you get. So as we all know, when you start off in a new career, one of the hardest things is getting that initial experience. Usually, even entry-level positions will say that they want somebody with 1 to 2 years of experience, but how are you supposed to get that experience? It can be really frustrating for people, that very first opportunity. And so this is that very first opportunity. So with CJ, you don't have to have experience with a lot of the work sites in that particular field in order to get hired on there. Which is a huge benefit to the program. And so that's the first thing, is the experience. The second thing is skill development. So when you start at a work site, the idea is that you can develop some new skills and maybe refresh some skills that you've previously had that maybe you've just need some sharpening. And then number 3, I would say is, this is an internship, but it's a paid internship. So it's paid based off of the local minimum wage for where the organization that you're working with is located. And in addition to it being paid, you're also eligible for what we call support services. So if there's things that you need to assist you in being successful at work, whether it's new clothes, new shoes, a haircut, maybe some new hair extensions, hygiene, transportation to get to work, diapers for your child's licensed childcare provider. Those things that maybe you'd be stressed out about or thinking about while you're at work. Our goal is to assist you and support you so you can really focus on work while you're at work and not worried about, those other things that might be on your mind. And then I would say the last thing as far as benefits to the program are the other activities that are offered in the program. So in Community Jobs, the 20 hours of work that you're doing at the work site is only one component of the program. The other components that you could potentially do are job training. So all the other options are all online. So you can do from your couch, in the comfort of your own home. And so the first thing is job training. So we have different job training classes that we provide. And then life skills, we have a weekly life skills class that we also offer that's somewhat similar to the GPS class. And then the last thing is job search. So we can help you, with interview prep, with resume feedback, anything that relates to looking for work, we can assist you with that. So as a recap, the 4 biggest benefits I see is the experience, the work experience, developing new skills, getting paid, and the support services, and then finally the other activities that are involved in the program. It's a long-winded answer. I'm sorry if you fall asleep.
No, I think it gives people a lot of information to go off of and kind of make that informed decision. And I know Landon pretty well, so you're in good hands if you decide to be in the community jobs program in career path services service area. But I kind of wanted to ask you a little bit more about just what do you feel like what is something unique about the community jobs program? I know, like when you walk into DSHS or just anywhere, a lot of times there's just a lot of different programs that are offered. So what do you feel like is a unique thing about community jobs?
I think that there's a couple of things. One I kind of touched on earlier is being able to get experience in a career field that you don't have an experience in. That's extremely difficult and rare to do. So I think that that's probably the biggest thing. And then I would say the second unique thing about the program is the ability to try something completely different. So for example, if you wanted to work like in the medical field, and you don't have any experience in it, this is a program where you could potentially get that experience. So we specifically, Career Path in Seattle works with Kaiser Permanente, their main campus up on Capitol Hill. And what's really unique about that position is they will put you in different departments. So you can learn what a nurse does. You can learn what a medical assistant does. Not only are you learning it, but you're seeing it with your own eyes. So, you know, maybe you go and you intern there and realize, man, I really want to be a medical assistant. So now I'm going to go to school. Or on the opposite side, maybe you've always thought you wanted to be a nurse and then you actually see it. And you think, you know, actually maybe this isn't the right thing for me. And maybe I want to go do, you know, a medical assistant or a secretary or, you know, study coding. So I think that there's that really unique experience where you can see it firsthand, as opposed to just hearing about it. Because especially when medical field, it's a lot different in real life than it is, you know, like on TV.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think those are the two biggest things that come to my mind in terms of what's unique about the community jobs program.
Yeah. I really like the uniqueness of being able to see the work that you're wanting to. It's not just a pamphlet. It's like I'm gonna get to experience a little, like a taste of it for sure. So thank you for that. So I think kind of my last question, then we can pull back and see if there's anything else that we want to just like talk about a little bit more. But what would you say to someone who's feeling nervous about joining community jobs or any other of the programs that you offer? What would you say?
Yeah, first I'd say that you're not alone. I think that a lot of people are nervous when it comes to not just starting a program, but even starting a position somewhere. It can be overwhelming, especially if you have other things going on in your life where you can't devote as much focus to work as you maybe would like, because of maybe you're dealing with housing, or you know, you're dealing with the pandemic that's going on right now. I mean, we're all dealing with it. You're dealing with, you know, the headache that is, you know, juggling remote learning with your kids at school. But what's unique about community jobs is that it's okay if it doesn't work out. And so if you try something and you go to work for 3 days and you're like, you know what, this is not for me, it's fine. Like right now is the perfect time to try this, because as far as TANF is concerned, you know, if you're not aware, they're not doing sanctions right now. So it's really a good opportunity to try not just community jobs, but any work first activity right now, because if it doesn't work out, or if you do it just for a little while, it won't be held against you, and you can just go back to getting your grant. So I think right now is the perfect time to do a work first activity, because if, like I said, if it doesn't pan out, then it's not going to be held against you. So
Definitely. Yeah, thank you for providing that perspective. I think like that might be one of the things that you take into consideration when you're like, you know, feeling some kind of way about starting something, right? It's good to know that those different options and that kind of stuff.
And like I said, right now it's a difficult time for a lot of people. So just knowing that you can try something out and it's not going to be held against you if it doesn't work out, I would hope that would make people who are nervous feel a little bit more confident.
Yeah. Well, you're making me feel at ease just saying that. So appreciate it. Yeah. Is there anything else that you feel like you wanted to add to this? Landon, I think.
I guess something else that just popped into my mind is that not only the experience, but hopefully you can get a reference out of your time in CJ as well, with the supervisor at your work site that you have. And when I mentioned Kaiser earlier, the supervisor Jeanette there has been a reference for, I'd say, over a dozen clients over the years when I've worked with her, and not only like a professional reference, but also a bit of like a professional advocate. So somebody who, maybe it's been a year since you interned there. I promise you she won't forget you, and she would still be in your corner and be willing to be a reference. And that's not just unique to that particular site. We have, various supervisors, not only through career path, but at other CJ providers, have really strong supervisors who are willing to not only be a reference, but, provide any professional support that you might need. So that's just one other plug is with this program, you have support not only with, your case manager or practitioner, but it's going to oftentimes extend to the host site supervisor that you're working with.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a really good opportunity to be able to create connections in the community, but like in the workforce that you're wanting to get into as well. So
and a lot of the organizations that are affiliated with community jobs are doing really important heart work in their communities. I think of like Birthday Dreams, who we work with in Renton, who throws birthday parties for homeless children. Which, I mean, if that doesn't play your heartstrings, I don't know. Maybe you don't have a heart. But because if you think about it, no kid should go without the celebration of a birthday. It's one of the best things about being a kid is when there's that day to celebrate you. And so that's what Birthday Dreams does. And so if you don't have stable housing, they help put together a birthday package for your kiddo, including brand new presents that are wrapped, a cake, decorations. They deliver it to you. If you don't have a place to throw the birthday party, they help you with that as well. So being able to have places like that are in your community that you can work at and you feel good about when you leave work every day, I think is another benefit.
So cool. Yeah. And for anybody that's like wanting to get into that kind of work, having the opportunity to walk in to an organization like that and get that kind of experience, not only like your own fulfillment, but also like putting that kind of stuff on a resume seems like such a good.
And sometimes the host sites do hire people on, and I'm always hesitant to tell that to clients at the beginning, because I don't want them to think that they're going to get a job, because oftentimes, someone could do really well at a work site and not be offered a job, just because the organization maybe doesn't have the funding at the time. But an organization like Birthday Dreams, for example, they have a staff of 5 people, paid staff of 5 people. That's not CJ, that's just there on their payroll. And 4 of the 5 people on their payroll came out of community jobs. Oh. So they've hired, 4 different people, almost their entire staff, through this program. So there, and that's not just unique to Birthday Dreams. There's most of the organizations that we work with at one point or another have hired a CJ intern on. So it's also nice to know that there is a potential for that to happen as well.
Yeah. And it sounds like, it's like incentive for the organization that has the interns there to be able to like make that informed decision about someone that they're going to hire. It's costly to hire people, and if you can kind of see someone do the work and then hire them,
exactly,
it's kind of like it's a win-win situation for everyone, right?
Yep.
And if I can take a little bit more of your time, one thing that came to mind to me too is like a lot of times, like I would think of that kind of situation that you were talking about, like just hesitant of talking about places hiring people because you don't want to set the wrong expectations or whatever. So do you feel like you, in those other kinds of like the activities and components of the program, what do you do to kind of like help people get to that place to be able to get the job or whatever? You know what I mean? I know you said a little bit about like mock interviews and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. I would imagine that you're not just handing out jobs. There's probably, you got to work on things before that too, right? So
Exactly. Yeah. We're not handing out jobs at all. My goal is that we might point you to a door, but then you're the one who has to kick down the door, and take advantage of the opportunity, and then step through the door and really take it to that next level. Um, but it really is customized to whatever the person needs. So if you are nervous about interviewing, then let's do some mock interviews. um, if it's like housing that's tripping you up, I can't necessarily give you a voucher for housing, but we can talk about resources that are available. And so it really just depends on what is unique to you and unique to. I like to ask clients the first time I meet them, what's the one thing that you feel like is tripping you up from getting to where you want to be. And usually based off of that, then we'll focus on that one thing first. And if you have multiple things, then, it can be overwhelming if you have 5 different things. So I like to, specify one thing at a time. And if we can just focus on this one thing, and then once that's over with, let's focus on the next thing. So then, it doesn't seem as overbearing.
yeah, yeah, sounds like a just a unique kind of like opportunity across the board. So, all right. I think that's all that I have really. I got a lot of questions answered that came to mind for me. Appreciate you taking the time, Landon, and hope to see you again soon, right?
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Mitchell.
All right.